Alright guys, so chapter 12 of Piggy is coming out next week, and it is the final chapter, the final piece of the story unless Minitoon changes his mind or something crazy happens. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is going over the entire Piggy storyline from start to where we are now so that you're caught up and ready to go before chapter 12 launches later this week. Real quick though, I do want to give a shout out to these guys on screen for winning our Robux card giveaway from yesterday, and keep in mind if you do want to win a Robux card, all you got to do is be subscribed to the channel and leave a comment down below with your Roblox name, Twitter name, Discord name, or some way for me to contact you. Also keep in mind I can't see who is and isn't subscribed, so make sure you're subscribed, and let's get on with this video. Alright, so the Piggy storyline starts off with two characters. We have Mr. P and Mrs. P. Now Mr. P is a very well-known scientist. He runs an amusement park, he has a lot of money, and he's very smart. Now Mrs. P we don't really know much about other than that she is very sick, and Mr. P is trying his best to find a cure to cure her sickness, because if he doesn't, then she's not going to make it. So what Mr. P decides to do is take all the money from his amusement park and start funding a hospital. He funds a hospital so that he can fund a cure and try and find a cure to fix his Miss P. Now after a while he does develop a test potion, a test cure, and before he can give it to Miss P he needs a few test subjects, because obviously when you make something like that, you make a medicine, you got to test it out first. And that's where George P and his family comes in. So George Piggy and his sister Penny, along with his mom, dad, and this other Piggy that we don't really know who they are yet. This is where their life turns upside down and the Piggy storyline kicks off. So Mom Piggy, Dad Piggy, and this other Piggy in chapter 1, they go to the hospital, they take the potion, they take the test cure, and they come back home and everything is fine for a little while. So during the middle of the night, George wakes up and finds that his sister Penny is missing and that his parents have now turned into monsters. They've gone crazy and they've turned into the Piggy-wielding, bat-wielding monsters. It's crazy. So he escapes from his house and finds his sister Penny outside, but before he can catch up to her, he gets sick and turns into a monster. He's also infected, question mark. We actually don't know that yet, but he gets red eyes, so we assume he's turning into a monster. Anyway, Penny wanders off into the night. We have no idea where she is, and this is where our story really takes place. So chapter 1 begins, and we are a police officer trying to find out what happened to George Piggy and his family, because they've been missing for a few weeks now, and we are tasked to go to their house and investigate it. So we go to their house, and when we get out of the car, we get smacked upside the head with a baseball bat, and we wake up inside of George Piggy's house, and we are face to face with this other pig who's a part of their family, but we don't really know who they are yet because they're not Penny, but it's weird. Basically, this monster Piggy here who's with the family. We end up escaping from this Piggy. We escape from the house and we get back into our cop car and head back down to the cop station. And this is chapter 2. Now, when we get to the station, we find out it's been abandoned. Everyone there is seemingly gone, and the mother, George P's mother Piggy, is there, and she's bopping everyone. So we have to escape. So we meet up with our pal Doggy, who's also a police officer, and we escape from the police station. Before we can really get going anywhere though, we get trapped and cornered in a city, from a lot of different Piggies coming from all different angles, and we are forced to take refuge inside of chapter 3, which is the gallery. Now, not much happens in the gallery other than the fact that we escape with Doggy and we run off into a nearby forest. Now, you and Doggy stay in the forest for a few weeks trying to figure out what is really going on, and then one night you wake up and Doggy is gone. She's missing. You heard someone drink a potion, and it's actually revealed that Doggy actually drank a potion. So Doggy is now a monster. He is infected. So you have no choice but to abandon Doggy and escape from the forest. Now, when you're actually exiting the forest and you're escaping, you come across a walkie-talkie, and a mysterious voice basically tells you, hey, my friend is trapped in a nearby school. Can you go and help her? Now, you're a police officer, so obviously you say yes. That's kind of what you do. That's your job. So the next chapter begins. You go to the school, and this mysterious voice tells you that his friend is trapped in a classroom. Go find him. And that's where you come across Bunny. You find Bunny trapped in a classroom, and then the two of you escape through the sewer system inside the school. And that's where you meet the guy on the walkie-talkie, who is Mr. P, the guy from the beginning of the story. Now, the player character doesn't know that Mr. P is a bad guy yet, but upon meeting him, you actually get sick and pass out. We don't really know why yet, but you pass out. A few hours pass, or a little bit pass, and you wake up inside of the next chapter, which is the hospital. Now, unfortunately, by the time you wake up, the apocalypse has already started. The hospital is abandoned, there's monsters everywhere, and so you, Bunny, and Mr. P have to escape. So you make your way to the roof, but when you and Bunny get there, you find out that Mr. P has already left you behind. There was a helicopter on the roof that you three were going to take to escape, but Mr. P actually leaves you and Bunny behind and escapes by himself. So you and Bunny are forced to go down into the subway system, the metro, and escape that way. Now, when we enter the metro chapter, the next map here, it's revealed Bunny tells us that she drank a potion that Mr. P gave her. So she is infected and she's going to be turning into a monster soon. So Bunny takes a little bit of a rest, and while she's doing that, you get the subway station up and running so that you can escape from the subway and get to safety. But as you go to leave, Bunny basically says, hey, I'm not going to make it. Go on without me. Don't forget me. So Bunny stays behind and is infected? Question mark. We don't really know the fate of Bunny. Is she infected? Is she not infected? That's up to you guys to decide. Let me know down below what you guys think. Anyway, you take the metro to Mr. P's Carnival, the one we mentioned at the beginning of the story where Mr. P gets all of his money from. And our plan is to stop Mr. P, confront him, figure out what's going on, and put an end to all the madness. However, when you get to the carnival, you find out that Mr. P is not there, and there's actually nobody there. There's just a bunch of monsters patrolling around the area. But you do run into two important characters, and that is Zizzy and Pony. So Zizzy and Pony tell you that they're a part of a survivor group that's held up in a nearby city, and you're welcome to join them and follow them back to the city so you can come up with a plan and, you know, get shelter and safety from all the monsters nearby. So that's what you decide to do, and that brings us into the next chapter, the city. So you follow Zizzy and Pony back into the city. You get back to the safe house, and that's where Zizzy gives you a little bit of backstory on her. She has some sisters that she's with in the safe house, and then Pony here, he wants to be a doctor when he grows up, and he also wants to protect everyone in the safe house as well. So it's like a little group of survivors right there in the city, and you're now a part of it. However, before you can get into the safe house, you find a shadow, a mysterious person that's watching you from a nearby dumpster. So you go and investigate it, and that leads you into the next chapter, which is the mall. Now, Pony goes ahead and heads on into the safe house, so you and Zizzy follow this mysterious stranger into the mall, and you find them locked up in a back room. So you complete the map, you unlock the back room, and you get in there, and you figure out that it's actually George Pig. George Pig is alive, and he's locked up in the mall. George Pig was presumably the guy hiding behind the dumpster, and you found him, and he basically says, hey, my family went crazy. You know, I came here in the city looking for my grandma, but my grandma also went crazy, and now I'm stuck here by myself. So you and Zizzy decide to take George back to the safe house so that he can be safe, and, you know, job complete. That was your mission, right? You had to find George Pig, and you did it. That was your police officer job done. However, when you get back to the safe house, Pony says that he found a nearby helicopter signal and that he wants to investigate it. Keep in mind, Mr. P left the hospital, you know, you and Bunny behind in a helicopter, so you go and investigate this signal. The helicopter signal leads you to the next map, which is the military outpost, and once you complete that map, you actually break into what appears to be some sort of power silo or whatever. Now, before entering in, George actually shows up. He follows you to the map, and then Zizzy and Pony stay outside the silo so that they can defend you and, you know, you and George against the monsters that are starting to surround them around the map. So you and George head inside, and that's where you find Mr. P. But now Mr. P is a robot. He's like a cyborg. He has like a robot arm, a robot eye. Some stuff has gone completely wrong with him. You can tell he's starting to go crazy because he thinks you're a ghost. He's you know, he apologizes for what he's done, and he's going a little bit crazy. So Mr. P runs off, and you and George decide to follow him and chase him down to end it once and for all. Now, one other thing that's very important is revealed in the Outpost map on a note, and that is that the infection, you know, even though it's only spread up to this point through potions, you can become a monster from being attacked by a monster. So it's a little bit like a zombie. If you get bit by a zombie, you become a zombie, and just like in Piggy, just like with that, if you get hit or attacked by a piggy, you also become a piggy monster. So that's revealed in chapter 11, and it explains why there's so many monsters all around the world and why the piggy apocalypse has begun. Now, of course, there's a lot more in-depth stuff and little intricacies that I kind of skimmed over, but that is the main storyline of Piggy, and now you know everything you need to know going into chapter 12. You're up to date on all the characters, and you're ready for the end. So let me know down below your favorite part of the story so far, your favorite chapter or your favorite character, and keep in mind, if you have not yet subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. I'm going to be keeping you guys up to date on this story. We're going to be live streaming this update as soon as it comes out, and it's going to be really, really fun. And of course, keep using star code RealKreek because it helps me out, allows me to buy all these Robux cards to give out to you guys. So I really, really appreciate that. Keep using that star code, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!